world we're now living in. We are competing in. We are repeating in. We are believing in. It's time for us to shift our mind from best in the world to best for the world. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. It creates a new world to mind a shift, intentionality, perceptuality, conceptuality. We are choosing to shift our mind to best for the world, best for our world. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional.
Welcome to Soil for Life, a transmission from Best for the World Broadcast 2023. And my name is Roland, and I have with me Mette.
Hello.
And Jonas.
Hello.
And we can, Mette and I have done a couple of sessions regarding biodiversity the last couple of, 2 years ago we did a insects hotel. Yeah, we also joked about it and made it an insights hotel.
Yes.
Both words. And last year we did a summer meadow plantation, something like that.
Something like that.
So this year it's time to look at the soil, the earth, the soil, and we will also plant a tree here today. Very excited about this. And of course we have Jonas, as I mentioned. And Jonas is actually a soil doctor.
I'm a
What is
new
that?
soil doctor. Well, I have studied the soil food web, and I've learned how important the microbiology is for soil. And in the business, pretty small but growing, they say soil without biology is geology. So the soil is a living entity or something like that. We shouldn't just look at it as something where the roots find the place to thrive, but actually it's a advanced blend of different microorganisms, and you have the nutrient cycling, and you have the storage of water and storage of carbon and everything. So it's fascinating. It's really easy to become a total nerd like me.
Yeah.
So it's a big hole and you easily fall into it. And I love it.
A rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Down into the soil. And some people just call it dirt, right?
Some people just call it dirt. And well, not to talk too much, but this industrialized world, we commoditize everything. And we make monocultures, and everything is a product instead of life. So we create huge areas of maize or whatever, and it's an insult to nature who wants biodiversity.
Yeah.
So and when we do that, we create all kinds of problems, and the nature is we're fighting the nature because the nature doesn't want this. So and the soil has become depleted because our relation with the soil has really vanished, and it's become all from a totally wrong and industrialized mechanical perspective.
You mentioned a couple of, I think you could say, functions of the soil. You mentioned, I think, nutrient cycling, water. And of course, it's a habitat for small creatures,
Yes,
for example.
yes.
Could you talk a little bit more about those areas?
When we make compost, if we have a bad soil, bear in mind that 70% of the agricultural soils in the world are in different stages of degradation. 70%. And but I just listened to Charles Eisenstein, and he said it's so easy to become, just lose your hope.
Yeah.
But he said, don't forget that life has a strong power to heal.
Oh yeah.
You know? I mean, we can just if we have a wound or we cut off our arm. Okay, the arm won't grow out, but we won't die. You know.
There are some species actually.
Yeah,
regrow.
yeah, exactly. The octopus. I saw that film.
Yeah, exactly.
So
But not us.
when we create compost to kickstart the life,
Yeah.
we have this quality level. So we need at least 20,000 different species of bacteria and 20,000. Oh, that's nothing. There are millions, and they're not even known yet.
So that's not much.
So but they do a good job. And then 20,000 of fungi.
Ah.
So, and that means if you can have a change in moisture or in temperature, and that means that one bacterial species will just shut down and go into a sleeping stage. I forgot the name, but go into spore. But then there'll always be someone else who say, "Whoa, it's time to wake up and do some nice work."
This is for me.
Yeah,
I must count.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So there are always a couple of hands to continue with the work of producing the soil. They make glues and they make enzymes. So the enzymes, they can actually. I was so inspired. They were Elaine Ingham at Soil Food Web. They were at a site they had mixed diesel oil with Roundup to get rid of the weeds. Yeah, they managed to do that, but they create a whole bunch of new problems.
Of course.
By effect, we call it.
Yeah.
And then, so they came back with, because the entire slope was about to slip down into this water, this lake.
Where was this?
This was a Microsoft executive in Seattle.
Of course. it was,
Having
yeah.
built one of those mansions on the slope.
Ah, yeah. Mansion on the hill,
And the
yeah.
dirt was
Classic.
coming into his living room, so he was pretty
We
annoyed.
got to do something here.
Yeah. So they came up with this compost. So they put a layer on the entire slope with new soil. And then they said, well, what about the toxics? And then Elaine said, there is not one single chemical compound that can't be broken down with microbiology. So it's pretty fascinating because
That's amazing.
for the bacteria, it's one generation is 20 minutes, and they adapt and they mute and all that. So the soil is power. I have a big hope for humanity if we can just make this, spread this knowledge, and it's not just brown dirt.
No.
It's a living system actually, and we have this layer around the world, like the biosphere, but it's a soil that transforms the dead soil minerals into plant available nutrients, and that feed us. So
Wow. That's
yeah,
fascinating.
yeah.
I'm
it's
getting
easy, as I said, it's
inspired
easy
as
to
you.
become a nerd,
Yeah, it's easy.
to fall in love with this.
Ah, fantastic.
So
So we're in a garden today
Yes.
in Lomma, here in Skåne, southern part of Sweden. And if you look at the ground here,
yeah, let's
where
look
we
at the ground.
stand, we're actually looking at a specific area here where we
I don't know what you call this, moss.
moss.
Yeah, I know Kate Moss, but moss is.
This is also moss. What does that mean? What does this? What can this tell us?
Well-
Just this surface here.
Well, here we want to have a lawn, but instead we
Yeah.
have moss, and I think
Yeah.
it's because it could be compacted. Look, it's pretty. Oh, well, look at this. We got this fella here,
There.
Oh,
a
yeah.
worm. Yeah, so that is good because it's alive, but maybe it's a little bit too compact, maybe a little bit too wet, because the soil, the nature talks to us, and it says, here is pretty wet, so the grass is not in its mother's backyard. It's the moss mother's backyard instead.
so the moss likes moisture.
Yeah, more wet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll see when we dig, because this is urban area. So this is old since. Maybe the soil under here has been compacted. We don't know what used to be here before. So and that will also affect. It tells us that maybe there's a compacted soil under here, and the roots can't penetrate that.
Right.
But if we boost it with microbes, they can actually get through this compacted soil.
Ah, yeah.
But if it's compact as well, maybe you have the anaerobe, the bad guys, and they don't create the
What is
What were they called?
anaerobe.
Anaerobe?
Yeah.
Never heard.
Usually, when we talk about bacteria, everybody think it's bacteria is bad because they are pathogenic. But we know we have in our gut.
Oh, yeah.
Without that, we would be dead.
Yes.
So 99% are good ones, and they works. They need oxygen. So if you have oxygen in your soil, they can start building structure, and that allows water and air to circulate, and it allows the life also to go around, and they build aggregates, and so the roots will be able to go down even further. And then the weeds won't be a problem because the volume where they can find their food or the nutrients is much larger than if you have
course.
like this. Then the weeds will become a problem.
How deep or
deep,
thick
yes.
should it be? In a normal garden, if you build a house, how much good soil do I need?
Well, actually, I saw a picture from a garden in United States where they had dug out to build a swimming pool or something like that. And then you saw the roots of the trees, they went down, and then after a meter just went sideways
okay.
Yeah.
because they had compacted when they were building the house. So how far down does it need to go? As far as possible. There are actually tree roots they found in a cave in Oregon. They found root taps. They were 60 meters underground.
Wow.
Yes, I
So-
have heard about the wine plants.
Yeah.
They are 60 more
Yeah, really.
meter
Yeah.
down. Yes, it's
Wow.
So
fascinating.
that's how they can thrive in this.
Yes.
I mean, when we see some places like desert or very dry,
yes.
rocky, but as they can go very far down, there's always water down, further down, so they can thrive even though it's very.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And when you build a new house, you typically, well, I don't know, maybe 10
Yeah,
centimeters of.
and then you start
that's it.
with throwing out, you
Yeah.
know, those fertilizers that you
Fertilizers
buy
and
at
watering.
Yeah,
because
watering
the
and
water goes right
Yeah.
through.
Yes.
Or it stays on top.
yeah.
Yes, it goes.
So, so I think today, I mean, water shortages. I'm looking at the French television, and they have water conflicts popping up now because they've had dry summer. We know the Po River in Italy is dried out more or less. So the problems are coming to our doormat. So and just watering your lawn. I mean, in 5 years, come on, they won't allow it. So that's why we should. That's one of my business ideas. One of the sectors to help people with lawns, prepare them with the right and good biology, and then they become more resilient. They will be green. Even the neighbor's lawn is yellow, and don't smoke here because you might set fire to the entire neighbor. So there are so
Come
many.
over here and smoke.
But if you don't water your lawn, the roots will come longer down.
They will go longer
so
down,
there's more
further down.
Oh, yeah,
resilience. Yes.
Yeah,
heard
you
about
know,
that
you
as
need
well.
those long roots.
Yes.
So, and they can be that long if you give them. We can do soil drenches. It's like it's a liquid full of organisms that will come onto the ground. They will go down, and they will start building. If it's really hot, you can actually make. Like you take a knife, so you help the microbiology
Okay,
to
to-
penetrate into the soil.
Yeah.
So there are different levels about how bad is the patient.
Yes.
So do we need to operate, or can we just give him a,
Yeah.
aspirin or something?
I'm getting more and more curious about what's under the surface
Yeah.
right here, actually.
Yeah.
Should we have a look?
Yeah, let's take a dig.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
So I have got my trousers on. So I
Yeah.
do the here. I think it was here somewhere.
somewhere here,
Yeah.
Oh, wow, this is interesting and exciting. Okay.
Okay. So we should be able to see
So is this a good size of the hole for a tree now, or is this just for looking?
This is just for, well, I think it's pretty small tree. That depends which tree we're taking. But
Yeah.
this is about, I'll dig a little bit further. But if you look at the soil,
Now, this is interesting. You have one camera here as
Yeah.
well.
this is the soil. They say we will become soil connoisseurs now in a minute or two. So here, it's, they said it should be chocolate colored.
All right. Well,
About
yeah.
70%. This is not real, but you know they're
Real
always
chocolate.
different. But it's good.
Okay. Good
And then
stuff.
if you smell it, there's an
Yeah.
earthy smell to it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine there's life in there.
But then if we look at this, my homemade soil, I almost said, but this is soil that I prepared.
Aha.
I think if you compare,
Oh wow. It's
there's more smell in
more
it, isn't
smell
it?
it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Mushroom smell.
Yeah,
yes.
exactly.
Yes.
I show it to the. Now I put some biochar in here. I do that with. I go to the guy who sells me the building material, and they have all those wooden leftovers. So I give them some buns and cookies. So I'm allowed to jump into the container, and then I go home.
So you're a dumpster.
Yeah, I'm a
You're not
dumpster. So I do this because I know that there are some good microbiology in here. You see the color.
Yeah.
It's darker, but that's because all of the carbon. But the darker, it should be like this, pretty dark. So what I do when I plant the tree is that I make sure that it gets a good start in its new life. Oh, we have
Oh, a worm. Very good.
a worm. That is good. We have a worm.
Worm alert.
Worm alert. Always a sign
Yep.
that it's not bad, but it's a little bit compact and all that. Let's see what we have.
And now we're getting
Put it here.
close to another layer, maybe.
Yeah. Oh gosh. I just killed the cameraman. No. I hit him. So let's see. All right, so we have a hole. And I soften it up a little bit. Okay, so I will start with putting some soil. We should maybe show them the tree. We should choose a tree.
Yes. What
While I'm-
kind of tree? Is this a
Bok, but I don't know
Bok.
the name in English. I just forgot. And that is probably heg.
heg?
And that is that one I know. Horse chestnut.
Horse
Now
chestnut.
talk to the camera. Horse,
Horse
chestnut.
chestnut.
Listen to
This-
that
this one.
British accent.
So these are.
Horse chestnut.
Yes.
This is very interesting. So these are obviously baby trees.
Yes, and that one I actually grew myself because I take the chestnut and I put it in a bucket with sand and I put layers on layers and then I bury the entire plastic bucket during the winter. And then in 2 weeks or something I will dig it up and then I will see if they have germinated. It's for me it's Christmas because I think it's so fascinating. Like, oh, we've got a new tree. It might be here in 300 years still, you know.
Yes.
So that's
Can you eat kastanje from it?
no, this is not. This is the horse chestnut.
This is a horse.
Yesterday we were planting the edible,
Because
That-
there is
yeah.
such a
Horse
thing
is,
as well.
okay.
Yeah.
No? Yes.
so I think
It's,
some animals can eat it, but
Yes,
not
no.
humans.
Okay. So what do you think would suit best for this area or this
Well,
place? Space.
I like this, but then Stellan's daughter has got a magnificent. That's his
Yeah.
5-year-old, as Stellan said, same tree as this horse chestnut.
Maybe we should just use this one then.
Yeah, yeah. I think I feel the vibes that we should
Yeah.
definitely use
Let's
that
do
one.
this. So there is actually a little story about this.
Oh, lovely. I like
tree
stories.
here. Yeah, this is a chestnut planted by Stellan's daughter on the first day in school. So it's 5 years ago.
When she started first grade.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's amazing. So this is
That's
a 5-year-old chestnut.
yes.
So that was a
kid.
teacher that came up with that idea.
Most likely, I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
what a fantastic.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Fantastic.
So let's take this to the next phase in life.
Yes.
Now it's time for you to
Then I think I
go
need
to school.
to extend the hole a little bit.
Yeah.
So we put these here.
I guess we'll see that soon, but I'm very curious about the root system and how it looks and how much you
Yes.
save of that soil into the new hole and so on.
Exactly.
We'll
Well,
see.
the more actually the more the better, because and
Ah.
also another thing is that usually when the spring times come and there's love in the air and the leaves start to come out, people go to the plant, you know, to buy plants.
Yes.
And they come with this beautifully green plant and they put it into the soil. That is totally the wrong period to do
Oh,
that.
mind the
Oh,
camera
I'm there again.
Yes, you are.
And it's like doing an operation without anesthetic. So, because now it's almost a little bit too late, but there's no leaves. So that's when you plant them in the soil.
But isn't autumn the best? Isn't autumn the best?
Well, autumn as well, just up to when you have the first frost, or when the ground starts to be hard. Okay.
The autumn is more raining and
Yes, exactly.
so it's easier because otherwise it needs very much water. The
Yes,
first period, I
exactly.
think. Yes.
Now we already have humidity. Now I let that. Okay, one more. Then we put my fantastic Terra Preta biochar in here.
What did you call it? Terra Preta?
Terra Preta.
Okay.
That is a mixture of. It's a man-made soil from the Amazon region.
Wow.
That's another story. Take that another day.
We take that another day.
So
So the most important ingredient in that soil you just put there, what is that?
well, I think the most important ingredient, as I said before, soil without biology is geology. So the most important ingredient
biology.
is the small guys.
Yeah.
But then to improve it, we put some biochar in there, and there's also some. I made a mixture. found this recipe on YouTube, where else? And there's also some volcanic dust in it that provides the minerals. All right.
All right, so now let's see.
Take this one out. So now I'll be very, very careful with Tuva's tree.
Tuvas tree, yes, that's her name. Oh, wow.
Look at this. Do this. Looks really nice. So we put it down like this. And here you see also that, yeah, really nice. You have, and what you want with the soil is also that it creates aggregates. You say it's keeping, it stands. How do you say? It's not falling apart.
Okay.
This is not the same thing.
No.
So, and
that's
that
a
means
big difference.
if you have the structure, it will actually work as a sponge. It will soak up the water, keeping the water. If you have this naked, it will actually float away if you have a heavy rainfall. You have a problem when bad soil management gives you problem with erosion, and you have your entire acid just going down the hill.
Yes.
So here it is.
Here it is. Okay.
So what is wrong with this now?
The soil is naked.
Yes,
Yes.
Roland, you catch up really good. So
I'm a good student.
yes, bring the red bucket, please.
Now it's time for the red bucket. All right.
Here comes the red bucket.
So what's in the red bucket?
In the red bucket,
Should we kick the bucket? No.
Yeah, we can kick the bucket later. We have kind of wood chips.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so when you're in a forest, you have fungi-dominated soils. You start out, if you have a catastrophe, you have naked soil, you have the first weeds coming in, you have bacteria-dominated. Maybe you have 1,000 times more bacteria than fungi. But then step by step you have an evolution. So if you start out with almost desert with weeds, in thousands of years, if humankind doesn't interfere, you will have old growth forest. And you've changed the entire biological balance in the soil. So you have 300 or 1,000 times more fungi and mycelium and all that in the forest. So this is fungi food. It's tricky to break down. The bacteria, they want green stuff because it's easy food, it's fast food. This is more nutritious, more, well, the structure is more complicated. So
it's more fiber rich.
Yes,
if you
you can
compare
say
it to
that.
what we eat. I
Yes.
mean, this is fast food, and that's fiber.
Yeah, all brand bread
All
or
brand.
something. Yeah.
Exactly.
So by putting this on, we will give the fungi, because there are spores everywhere. There are probably spores in here because it's been laying on the ground in the forest. So it will start to dig themselves down into, and also there are probably in the soil here there are probably spores as well. But maybe we can give them some more friends and biodiversity. So that's how it works. So no naked soil, and an underground biology, and feed the biology. And if the soil is really bad, you can put some biochar in it, so you got some sponge in it anyway.
I have a question there. I noticed you did not. You just put it down. You didn't
No,
push,
exactly.
or you didn't straighten it up or anything. Is that important, or
Yes,
is it?
since it was already in a pot,
Yeah.
and it was thriving, I just thought that, well, why compact it? Because then you
Yeah.
change the entire. I think that's just a bad habit that you start to
Yeah.
walk around it. So it will adapt itself to the environment.
Yep.
So
Yeah, maybe that's a general problem that we try too much to
we
interfere.
interfere too much.
Yeah.
Yes. Maybe we will crunch the small roots.
Yes, exactly.
If we-
Roots and the small guys.
And the
Yeah,
small
yeah.
guys too. Yes.
And the air passageways and all that will be closed, so we create a problem.
Yes.
So, and many people say when we're trying to restore nature, like the best thing we could do is to stay the hell out of there, just leave it to the nature.
leave it, yeah.
But we want to go in there and put a tree, and we want to build a pond, and because it's so fun, we want to take part of it. But it's more like, no, we do this ourselves. So yeah,
Okay.
now the tree is in place.
The tree is in place.
Yeah.
So and we have some soil that you dug up.
Yeah.
What do you suggest we do with that now?
Well, we can put it. Soil is always valuable, so we put it in the bucket, and we can.
Maybe we should clean up
Yes.
a bit.
Yeah. So then we can mix. We can mix the good soil with. I mean, this is pretty good soil anyway. So if I just mix it like this, and so because the color was pretty good anyway.
Yeah.
See if there are any-
Chocolate color.
Yeah,
Yeah, we learned that. Chocolate color, 70%.
70%.
Cocoa.
I think the rest we just do this.
And the lawn, we can always replant somewhere else.
Yes.
Top layer.
But lawn is
Mostly
Moss.
moss, but
Yeah.
that will change, I guess, if it gets into another environment where it's
Yes,
more.
maybe.
Yeah, it'll be
for
fun to
grass,
see what
perhaps.
happens around here because it will actually affect the entire area here.
Yeah.
So, oops, sorry, flowers. All right.
It's just the soil doctor
Yeah,
doing his thing.
we could add some more actually. Here.
Very good.
Yeah, well. So now it's just up to nature and to do its work.
And how about water? Does it need water now? Probably not, I'm guessing.
I think it's Well, we could water a little bit, but as we said before, it's still a lot of humidity in the ground.
Yeah.
It would be worse if you did this in May and it starts to dry up. But definitely we should put some water on it.
And also this that actually was in the pot is
Yes.
still quite
It's
a lot of humidity in there.
But actually, yeah, and this we can just leave because it will actually fertilize and be good. It will,
so the grass will.
yeah, it will take
it.
advantage of that.
Yeah,
They will like it. So, yeah.
yes.
Very interesting. Okay.
So we can see with the other trees if Stella wants one of those, or I don't
Yeah,
know.
you have more baby trees.
Yes,
Where do baby trees come from?
from the stork.
Oh,
The baby
okay,
trees
same
that I
as
have here.
humans.
I was over at Björkhaga Plantskola, and they actually plant all the trees in plastic pots because their soil is so degraded and full of, I don't say toxic, but I mean they've been doing like all other ones, using chemical fertilizers and all that. So he can't make anything grow there. So he's stuck to the plastic pot. So I see this place. I've spoken to him. I said maybe I should do. We should make some research here together and see we could, with the help of Soil Food Web, make your soil alive again. Because there's another place that is a really big supplier of trees and bushes. And they actually got into this because they saw that the only way to survive financially was to start working with nature again. So they got into this Soil Food Web, and now they're doing their own compost, and they are selling compost teas. They're doing analysis of soil samples. So what I'm going to do when I'm out, I will do like the doctor taking a blood sample. I will take several soil samples so we can analyze and see what's in there and what's not in there. And then we can make a recovery plan.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought, well, soil doctor is pretty good.
It is pretty good.
Curing
Wow.
the bad soils.
Oh well, fantastic.
I see huge potential in this. We gotta be soil connoisseurs. They should teach this in school actually. So we actually see our surroundings as living creatures. Now we see wood, we see food, but we don't see actually that they are alive. They're just
Right.
products growing on the fields.
Yeah.
So we need to change our attitude and mindset.
And there has to be life in all layers in the soil and all the
Yes.
way up and
Yeah.
to us. And it's a system.
Yeah, yes it is.
We need to come back to that thinking and living.
Yeah, so it's all kind of cycles, like the nutrient cycle underground, and then you have the nutrient cycle above ground, and then you have the carbon cycle, you have this
And the water cycles
water,
as
and
well.
the water cycle as well. So it's all like different organs in our bodies. Like, oh, you have food, you should be healthy. Yeah, but my kidneys are bad. My heart is bad. You can't just live by food. You need all the system to be intact. And they said that today we are looking only at carbon. And if we
Yeah.
go down to 380 ppm again, the problem won't be solved because all the systems are bleeding, kind of. They are not performing what they should perform.
Yeah.
So there's many ways of look upon this problem.
But now I think you're doing a great job spreading the information and with your enthusiasm here, and we've learned a lot today.
Yes.
And I'm really inspired to,
Yeah, great to
to find
share the
out more
inspiration.
about the soil and of course the whole ecosystem.
I will go home and smell on my
Yeah.
Yeah.
my soil and
Yeah.
That's a
and
good
try
start.
to do it better.
Okay. Well, any final words or well, soil for life?
Yes.
Soil for life, yes.
Yes. I just one final word. Listened to Charles Eisenstein this morning, and he said, "Yeah, it's a pretty tough situation now with the ecosystems on the verge of collapse, and but we shouldn't be depressed. But don't forget that the life has an enormous strength of healing,
Yeah.
And that was really like the positive kick in my bum today. Like, oh yeah, there's hope.
There's hope.
There's hope.
There's a lot of hope, and
Yeah.
I think worry is not a good force.
No, it can ruin the day.
It can ruin the day, and there is hope.
Oh, thank you for those.
Yeah. So well, thank you guys.
Yeah, and
This
sorry
was
for
really-
kicking down the camera twice.
That's all right. Okay. So thank you everybody watching as well. This Soil for Life transmission from Best for the World Broadcast 2023. Yes. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
We are creating the world we're now living in. We are competing in. We are repeating in. We are believing in. It's time for us to shift our mind from best in the world to best for the world. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. It creates a new world to mind a shift, intentionality, perceptuality, conceptuality. We are choosing to shift our mind to best for the world, best for our world. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional.